Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well, and you are loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you. All right, today we are going to Ghana. Something has been happening in Ghana that I think that we should ask Akufo-Addo. Is everything all right? Is everything okay? You remember that clip where he was sitting with some delegate from the United States and he was snitching on the military leaders of Niger. All right. I don't know if I'm going to get hold of that clip. I'm going to leave it out there for you. Now, it is been said that Ghana receives 105 military vehicle from European Union to fight terrorism. I don't know which terrorism Akufo-Addo want to fight with 105 military vehicle from EU. EU of all people. There was a time I thought that our leaders are learned enough, because sometimes when they make speeches, you are happy and you feel like, okay, this one knows what he's doing. And then they're going to surprise you the next minute. And then you like, oh my word, what the heck is going on here? Now, Akufo-Addo came in and a lot of people believe that, okay, this man is going to do something. This man is going to do something. And even right now, with these 105 vehicles that was given, some Ghanaians are like, he begged for the vehicle because of the forthcoming elections. I don't know what he's gonna do with those vehicles. Is he gonna go against his own people? Because right now, Ghanaians are like, this is not the promises you made to us, just like exactly what is happening in Nigeria. people are not smiling. And it's like, this is not what you promised. This is not what you promised us, Mr. President. All right, so that is it. And I felt like there was a time I covered a story from Ghana that they have decided that if the West coming to harvest cocoa, to get cocoa for chocolate and whatever, Ghana has a lot of cocoa. All right, and they were like, if they are not fair in the market, they are going to look for other buyers, or they will even cease exporting cocoa to the West. And I was happy, and I'm like, okay, this is a new dawn. If Ghana could make decision like this is good. This is good. And this is the same people you're going for. I don't know if you really begged for these vehicles, or they gifted it to you so you fight terrorism, or they're trying to prepare you to go against Niger or Burkina Faso. Because remember that time when all these things were happening, Akufo-Addo never said anything in support of the military juntas. It was with Jagaban. They were doing their thing and collecting the money to go invade. So a lot is tied up here, and I'm like, why is it that countries that should be at the forefront of agitating for liberation from colonial powers and hold are the ones that are becoming stupid by day?
Now let's turn our attention to West Africa. A different war has been playing out here. A terrorist insurgency, especially in the Sahel region. It is just south of the Sahara Desert. Terror groups have been active here in Sahel for years now. And now they're looking to expand their operations. They have set new targets. They're eyeing the coastal nations below the Sahel. These are relatively peaceful countries. How do they plan to defend themselves? Europe has offered to help with more weapons. Europe wants to arm the coastal nations in West Africa, and this weekend the EU took a step in that direction.
Today, we come together to officially unveil a generous donation of 105 militarized vehicles provided by the European Union to support the counter-terrorism efforts of the Ghana Armed Forces.
The focus is on Ghana. The European Union has sent 105 armored vehicles. Now, Ghana is a nation in West Africa. It's a country of about 34 million people. It is also one of the richer nations in terms of GDP. Its nominal GDP is $76 billion. It ranks 11th in the continent of 54 countries. Ghana is also rich in resources. It is one of Africa's largest gold producers. Other major exports are cocoa and crude oil. So in theory, Ghana is better off than most nations in West Africa. In fact, most of the countries along the Gulf of Guinea are resource rich, which may be why Europe wants to ensure that they remain stable. The armored vehicles to Ghana are part of a broader outreach, a broader military aid outreach. It's going to 4 countries in the Gulf of Guinea: Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo and Benin. They will all get military aid from the European Union, about $650 million in all.
I think that we are all aware that the spillover of insecurity from the Sahel to the Gulf of Guinea is not a risk, it's a reality. It's like climate change. It's not something that may happen in 20 years from now. It's happening now.
That was the EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell. He says the spillover of terror from the Sahel is already underway, and that is why Ghana is preparing itself for the fight. But the country may be ill-equipped to keep extremism out for 2 reasons: its geography and its economy. Let's tell you about the geography first. Ghana is close to the terror hotspots in West Africa, the Sahel states. They touch Ghana's northern border. It is at the edge of the insurgency, and that's one reason why the country is on alert. The second reason is Ghana's precarious economic situation. We mentioned earlier how the country is resource rich, but that has not translated to a wealthy population. In fact, Ghana's people have been struggling of late. Last year, they suffered an economic crisis. There was high inflation and mounting public debt. Ghana's debt is about 90% of its GDP. It got so bad that Ghana defaulted on loans to foreign lenders. This was last December. They defaulted. The country had to take a $3 billion bailout from the IMF. Its 17th IMF loan since it became independent. So you can see why the economy is in dire straits. Since Ghana has to keep paying back foreign loans, domestic payments take a backseat. This leads to unpaid salaries and crumbling infrastructure. Last week, the country was plunged into darkness. Electricity was cut across Ghana. And remember, this is an oil and gas-rich country. Theoretically, it should not have any power problems, but it does. And they're expected to get worse in the years to come. This kind of economic crisis breeds instability, and terror groups use that instability to recruit people. The crisis in Ghana could be a gateway for the terrorists, which is why the EU is focusing on this country. The armored cars were just the military outreach. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz will visit Ghana tomorrow. It's the second part of his West Africa tour. The first part included Nigeria. Olaf Scholz went to Nigeria. He promised investments in the gas sector. He's trying to boost trade in the region. Both these strategies will help Ghana as well. But will this be enough to steady the country's economy? Will the armored vehicles be enough to prevent an insurgency?
Your Majesties, the 17th IMF loan since independence. 17 IMF loan. Come to think of this, should Ghana be collecting loan? Should countries in the continent of Africa be collecting loan? Loan from who? All these people come here to take good, to take care, all the resources. Name them, because my head right now, I don't know if I'm even thinking straight. With all the resources we have, should any country in Africa be collecting any loan? Loans are a trap. When will our leaders learn? How will you come to me? I am sitting on gold. Like now, I'm sitting on gold. I'm wearing gold. And then you come with some papers and you say you're going to give that to me. Like, come on. What is going on? Now, with the resources Ghana is sitting on, should Ghana even be in the situation Ghana is right now? If Akufo-Addo would be sincere enough, should Ghana be sitting on the problem they are sitting on right now? Gold is worth enough. The amount of gold that Ghana produces is enough to feed Ghanaians. Then, not to talk about the cocoa and the crude oil. Like I told you, there's no country that have only one. But they only tie your eye to that one so that you feel, okay, Ghana only have gold. Not only that, and it's high time all of us Africans begin to know this. And how do we know this if we don't share it? You think these people don't know all the resources that are in the undergrounds of Africa? Why do you think they are everywhere? Why do you think they're everywhere in the continent? They know already. But most Africans don't even know. Because sorry, hide it, don't bring it out, these people will now see it, they will start coming, they know already these things are here. So let's not deceive ourselves. We open our hands and receive them with our teeth shining, and we think that they're coming to help us. They tie our legs down to some loans or whatever, and we are not unable to pull out. And this is what they keep doing. Sending, this is another trap. These cars they are bringing is another trap. Whatever is going to happen down the Sahel, around that region, are they not the one funding those terrorist groups? Like what we're saying about the Congo, they are the ones funding the MI23. They are the ones funding Boko Haram. I've done that video here. They are the ones funding them. And they've trapped Ghana again. Look at the city. Oh my word. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? What are we doing to ourselves as a people, as a continent? When are we learning? When are we opening our eyes? Like, when are we going to see? Sometimes this is what gives one heartache. Like, when I sit and think about things like this, I'm like, can we make it? Can we make it? But I'm hopeful. I believe that things will get better. Things will get better because nothing remains forever. But before things get better, we need to be practical. As citizens, I think there should be a time now that we start flogging out some of these leaders. I'm not saying you should go and flog any leaders. On a lighter note, but we need to be radical. We need to be radical because we are the ones suffering. We that our parents are not presidents, are not senators, we are the ones suffering. We that are not senators, we that our ancestors have not been in power before, we are the ones suffering. Because sometimes when you sit and think, okay, what am I going to, how are the children going to feed? How the school fee? What are you going to do? How are you going to put this and that together? How are you going to manage this money so that we are the ones suffering? So if we do not put our heads together to do something, nothing will happen. And how can we do that when we are not united, when we do not have sincere and genuine love for one another? You heard that after Nigeria, they turned to Ghana. They are crippling us gradually because they know the Sahel has started agitating. So they are beginning to tie the other parts. Tie the legs of our leaders. Tie them on the chair very well. So that they can't shake, they can't move. We have to decode all this. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. What do you think about these so-called military vehicles, 105 from EU? Oh, I will see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.